Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to more WWE Smackdown vs. Raw 2007 General Manager Mode. My name is BrendenPlayz, and we are on the road to Summerslam, and we are currently a fair way away from it. We're about 7 weeks away, or maybe 8 weeks away from the Summerslam pay-per-view. Smackdown had their Great American Bash not too far away, so we need to try and keep the pressure going. And this week, we need to satisfy a few of our talents. As you can see, a few of these guys are unsatisfied because they want title shots. Batista wants one, Booker T wants one, and Eddie Guerrero wants one as well. And as well as that, we have Mercury and Nitro losing a little bit, and Undertaker as well. So we need to try and sort these guys out. And this week, we are going to grant Batista his huge WWE Championship matchup that we promised not too long ago. So here's the rivalries that we are currently going with right now, and so far, so good. I've got to admit, everything's kind of working out pretty good. I've got a good feeling that we can continue the momentum that we've had for the last few weeks. Now, I want to do Booker T versus somebody. I was kind of just trying to see who I can get. I was thought about Nitro, maybe elevating him and ranking him as singles guy, but I guess we'll keep him around that tag team division. And I suppose really the only guy we can have is JBL versus Booker T, since we've already done Shelton Benjamin versus Booker T. So we are going to turn Booker T from a heel to a babyface. And that should allow us to do the JBL versus Booker T feud. And I know Booker T wants a title shot, so I guess we have to try and organize that sometime very, very soon, as does Eddie Guerrero. Eddie Guerrero, obviously, number one contender for that Intercontinental Championship, so that is fine. Batista, number one contender for the WWE Championship as well, so that's fine as well. But Booker T not really penciled into the situation as of yet, so we might have to try and, force a title shot there, and we'll see how we go in the next few weeks. Maybe we can throw Booker T in and make it a triple threat matchup. I'm not sure, but I don't like to do the whole workaround where they turn off superstar morale. I like to, have it genuine. If they have a problem, they need a win, they need to get a title shot, then I want to do that. I don't want to try and cheat my way around it to make things easier. So we're just kind of making a few matches here, and obviously, we are just trying to kind of cruise along. Obviously, SummerSlam is kind of coming along, so we are in a bit of a period where we are transitioning from rivalry to rivalry, and ratings will be down, but if we can get the odd match or two every single week, that will boost up the ratings, like a title match here tonight, or a couple of big matches from a feud that we've already got going on for a while. That can kind of cruise us along enough to keep us going. And obviously, we have the John Cena, Kurt Angle, and Undertaker rivalry. That's still going, even though we want to turn that into Batista and John Cena in a one-on-one rivalry. But the thing is, I want to keep that going because it is a long-term rivalry that we desperately need. So we're kind of booking the Divas here, and just, right now it's Melina and Tori Wilson. They've had a rivalry for about 5 weeks now, so that's pretty good. We're going to keep that one going as well. We were going to do Trish and Lita, and I guess we probably will keep that going for a little bit of time, and perhaps whoever does end up winning between Tori and Melina might get that title shot in the end. So we're going to do a tag team matchup here, and it is going to be Shelton Benjamin and Eddie Guerrero teaming up. Actually, I think Shelton Benjamin needs to be on Rob Van Dam's side, and we'll just quickly finish this up anyway. So JBL and Eddie Guerrero will team up, and Van Dam and Shelton Benjamin. So that's another matchup. So obviously Guerrero and Van Dam are in a rivalry right now. You pair them up with JBL and Shelton Benjamin. Obviously that might impact their ratings a little bit, but also again, you can look at the other side of it. You put those two guys in that match, it's going to get a much better rating than it would have been if it had just been a one-on-one contest. Plus, you keep the rivalry going without it being the same thing every single week. So originally I was going to do a WWE Championship matchup tonight, but I think I may hold off until next week, and we'll do Kurt Angle versus John Cena tonight, and Batista and The Undertaker. That way we can kind of see Batista, give him a bit of a matchup to prepare for Cena, rather than just giving him a title shot out of the blue. So we'll change plans. We'll go with Batista and Undertaker tonight. Batista wins, he'll get his title shot next week. Obviously he's going to get a title shot anyways, but if Batista can win this week, have some momentum heading in towards the title shot next week. So next episode, we'll do John Cena and Batista one-on-one for that title. And I think that if we do Angle and Cena, that will still carry the rivalry through despite Taker versus Batista. Now, that's a bit of a risk that we're going to take, but I've never really done a triple threat rivalry ever throughout my time in GMO, but I think it's actually a good idea that we might actually go ahead and start to do more of them. I wish I could add Batista to it and make it a fatal 4-way rivalry. I'm not sure if that's possible. I don't think it is. But that would be really cool if I could do that. But so we're going to go ahead and play Batista and The Undertaker. And we'll talk more about the matchup that is going to take place next week in a moment's time. So we're going to play as Batista, and we're going to verse off against the dead man, The Undertaker. Alrighty, here comes the animal, Batista, the #1 contender for the WWE Championship. Obviously earning that right at the recent Vengeance pay-per-view by beating Eddie Guerrero one-on-one, and he became the #1 contender. But we didn't really plan on having this kind of rivalry between Cena, Taker, and Angle kind of continue on. We thought we were going to end it right there, go to Batista and Cena one-on-one. Perhaps we could transition to Taker and Angle one-on-one. I'm not sure. But in the end, what we've kind of done is we've just kind of ignored that a little bit and kept that rivalry going in that triple threat situation, since we want to keep that ratings push and keep the pressure going. So here comes The Undertaker, and a big opportunity for him here tonight. Obviously former WWE champion here in GMO, and he would love to get another opportunity at that title very soon. So a win over Batista tonight will keep his name among the mix. So here he comes. So we were, like I said, we were going to do the title match tonight, but the Great American Bash is very, very soon. So I want to kind of compete with the Great American Bash at the same time. Obviously, we are going to take a big hit there. So if we can have a big show before the Great American Bash, like we did last time that SmackDown had pay-per-view, when they had Judgment Day, I believe it was, we stacked up and we had our own Raw Super Show that really competed hard with the Great American Bash, and I think we may have only lost a slight amount, if not gained viewers on that occasion. So that was a really good risk that we had to take, and it really paid off. So we need some strong rivalries heading in towards that show. Otherwise, if we stack up the card, we're still only going to get, 3.5, 4-star rated matches, but we have 1 or 2 big rivalries heading in. We might be able to stretch it out to perhaps a 4.5-star rated matchup, which would be huge, and that would greatly benefit the whole card as Batista with a clothesline to The Undertaker right now. So that's kind of the thought process behind that right now. I'm not sure where we're going to go with this whole WWE Championship scene right now. Is Batista going to be a champion? We'll have to wait and find out. If he does beat Cena next week, are we going to keep factoring in The Undertaker and Kurt Angle, or are we going to kind of phase them out of it and might bring in Eddie Guerrero or Rob Van Dam into the mix, or somebody else? We might try and elevate Booker T or someone, or bring in somebody else to make a trade. Plenty of options we can undertake right now, and obviously, if we want to trade off Angle or The Undertaker, who have kind of been at the top of the mountain and kind of had their time now faded away, we could bring in somebody different and add someone fresh into our WWE Championship mix. And I think that might be a great idea to kind of do. Obviously, SmackDown have some big names over there, and we can see if we can poach one of their talents and bring them over. I know they have Shawn Michaels and Triple H, Mick Foley over there, so plenty of great guys we can bring into our show to kind of spice things up a little bit and also keep the high level of talent on Monday Night Raw. So that's a plan we can really kind of think about using very, very soon. But right now, we have Batista and The Undertaker in the ring as a knee right to the midsection of the dead man. And right now, I think one of the big reasons that one of the big problems we have is, there's always been a problem for me in GMO is tag team. So we can go the way that we did when making Chris Masters and Randy Orton. When, by the way, somebody in the comment section last video said Master KO should be their tag team name. I actually like that name, so for now, I'm going to call them Master KO. So Master KO, we've kind of formed them as a random team. 2 guys who weren't doing anything. They've put them together as a tag team. There's a bit of old school there by The Undertaker. So that's an option that we can just kind of throw 2 guys together and make another tag team, or bring in another genuine tag team into the mix. So a couple of different options we can use there, but obviously we probably need 1 more tag team. I think we're just 1 tag team short before I'd be pretty happy with that. But having the Divas is obviously a difficult thing to do, to have enough Divas to make the division good, and also have all the other divisions healthy as well. It makes it very, very difficult. Obviously we got rid of those 5 divas. We could bring in 5 new male superstars and perhaps 1 new tag team, another main eventer, and maybe 2 guys for that Intercontinental Championship, and things would be a hell of a lot different. But unfortunately we can't, because we got the divas, and that's something that I've wanted to kind of challenge myself this time around, as making the divas work, because I always play a SmackDown because I want to avoid the divas. But this time I want to try and make them good. And obviously, Tori Wilson and Trish Stratus, their popularity is pretty good. Leadership is pretty good as well. So far, so good with the Divas. Perhaps we might need to do some more, bikini model contests to boost up their popularity, as well as kind of give someone a number of victories and see how they go. And obviously Batista right now, clothesline down goes the Undertaker. Batista in control of this matchup. And this is just a chance for Batista to kind of get in there and see what he's capable of doing. If he can pick up the win over the Undertaker, obviously that will do him wonders heading in towards his WWE Championship matchup next week, which he's earned. And he's been ready to go for a long time. I think Batista's been right in the mix, but he hasn't really been able to break through. It's always been somebody in his way, whether it be Angle, whether it be Undertaker, or Cena himself. But now Batista finally gets that chance. Obviously, Batista last time falling short to John Cena in the last chance to become the #1 contender. So Batista now has finally got his spot and got his chance as he's striking away on the dead man right now, who is down and out, perhaps cold. Batista in real control right now. Undertaker just struggling to get back to his feet. Batista, look out, here we go. Batista picks up the Undertaker, and the Batista bomb. Down goes the dead man. The leg is hooked. Forget about it. Count to 100. Batista knocks off the Undertaker. Back and forth action, but Batista proved to be too much for the dead man here tonight. And now Batista moves on to his WWE Championship matchup next week against John Cena. Can the Animal finally win the title and dethrone John Cena? We're going to find out next episode of GM Mode here on Monday Night Raw. And hopefully things can kind of roll on in the ratings war and we can keep the stranglehold grip on SmackDown that we have right now. Batista with the big victory. Let's go check out the rest of our matches here tonight. Lita wins a triple threat matchup between Mickie James, Trish Stratus, and of course Lita herself. So big victory for her. Kane defeats Booker T one-on-one. So a bit of a upset victory, I suppose, there. Nitro and Mercury Eminem pick up a victory over Masters and Orton. So Master KO suffering another loss. Tori Wilson picks up a victory over Melina in a submission matchup. Eddie Guerrero and JBL team up successfully over Van Dam and Shelton Benjamin. And next up, we have Kurt Angle. Kurt Angle knocks off the champion John Cena. So, well, there you go. Batista, of course, beat The Undertaker. So perhaps Batista and Kurt Angle should have a matchup. And unfortunately for Angle, he's not going to be able to get that next week, perhaps, after that. But so, we did come back this week with a nice 10,000 viewer gain. Last week we lost 10,000. We got those 10,000 back this week. So not a bad little show from us. And that's really what it's all about. We just want to keep where we're at right now. We don't want to give SmackDown any more viewers, but we don't have to necessarily keep putting on 10-star rated shows to try and, put them out of business, because we do have a really about, what is it, 1 million viewer advantage right now, 2 million viewer advantage on them right now. So we have a huge gap between them. And if we can keep this going, I think we could end up finally getting a win in GM mode for once. So there was the results there. So SmackDown had a 3-star rated show. So their show was a little bit mediocre, I guess you could say. But, so let's take a look at where we're at right now. So here's our rivalries. So it looks as though we lost our tag team rivalry, which is a real... Oh, no, there it is. We lost a rivalry, though. It might have been our Divas Championship rivalry. I think Lita and Trish, their rivalry is gone. So that's annoying, and I wanted to kind of keep that going for a little bit of time. I wasn't quite done with that one yet, because I want to kind of transition into either Melina or Tori Wilson. Obviously it's going to look like it's going to be Melina in the end, but Tori Wilson in the end, I should say. So I want to try and transition into that later on, but not just yet. So JBL and Booker T, we can now get that rivalry going. I picked the #1 contender, but they don't qualify, so they're not in the top 15 in the power ranking. So we'll switch that up. We'll do whatever. Injury Revenge is always a decent one, so we'll do that one. So we have 2 rivalries that are going for 6 weeks, so that's pretty positive. So I'm pretty happy with that right now. So we can keep that going. That'd be fantastic. Keep those rivalries going heading in towards SummerSlam. If we can stretch one of them out to SummerSlam, that would be really, really good. So Trish Stratus and Lita, we'll do that again, and we'll just make that one till SummerSlam. We're going to pick a storyline for them as well. We'll just pick whatever. Whatever has the highest rated star. It doesn't matter if it's not matching up with the storyline, because really, is there a storyline in GM mode? Not really. But, so, a couple of new ones, but these rivalries will just kind of get us home until the big day. And unfortunately, we can't put Batista in there to make it a fatal 4-way rivalry. At least I don't think we can. So unfortunately, we can't kind of factor in Batista, so he kind of misses out a little bit there, which will impact our star rating on our championship matchup next week. But I guess we'll try and do a little bit more hype duty just to fix that. So Batista, he still wants that title shot. Guerrero wants his title shot. Taker wants a win. So we'll see how they fare next week. The popularity of those guys are doing very, very well. Booker T slowly on the rise. That's a guy that we really want to elevate soon as well. But anyways, we're running out of time, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you again for joining us for another episode of WWE Smackdown vs. Raw 2007 General Manager Mode. If you did enjoy the video, make sure you leave a like. It'd be great if we can hit. This is going to be a big goal. Can we hit 4 likes? It'd be great if we can. If you haven't already, make sure you subscribe to see more GM mode coming up very soon. Well played there by the Knicks. And Anthony again! Anthony makes the steal! Grant finishes it! 1-point game!